Welcome back to another reaction for Witch Hat Atelier episode 1.
スポーツ選手は生まれた時からスポーツ選手？宇宙飛行士やアイドルは生まれた時はわからない。でもじゃあ魔法使いは？
I thought this was like fantasy. What do have... Why astronaut? Athlete? Fuck.
使いは？
Okay, so because it's like a fantasy thing, right? Which is maybe they have astronauts and athletes and whatnot. Or maybe this is like an isekai. Or it is just an introduction outside of the story. We will see. What is she doing? Why is she... We have water and she's pouring in other kinds of water? Milk? I guess to bless or something? What are we doing? So she's cleaning something, okay. I'm guessing because there's this little indent, she's cleaning that?
あ、ごめんね汚して。お洗濯もう終わるから。
Oh, she's cleaning her laundry.
すぐ元に戻るよ。この泉、魔法がかかってるから。
Okay. 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 Because she had the whole pan full of some kind of soapy water? So she could have washed it in there, but maybe she wanted to use the ridges to scrub out any dirt that is in the ground. Fair enough. Okay. And it purifies the water again. Okay. Explains why she's doing this here and not in a river, which you would normally do. Okay, okay. I do wonder, can she talk to the animal or not? Also, you just clean that and then you put it on the ground again?
何回見ても綺麗。すごいな。魔法。
So she wants to be a witch, but she's not. There's magic that is outside of her control. Huh?
魔法は世界にあふれていて、なくてはならない便利な奇跡。でも、その仕組みはわからない。
The magic that started everything. Now the question is she living alone?
魔法をかけられるのは魔法使いだけ。
Because she looks very young. Okay, witches. We have some fantasy type creatures.
ただの人間は魔法使いだけ。
That sound like sheep, okay.
ただの人間は 魔法を恵んでもらうことしか
Sounded like a mixture of sheep and
で
cow.
きない。
I did not read it. Okay, ordinary people can only be
魔法
blessed
使
with
いには
magic,
な
but
れ
not
ないのだ。
cast. Mm.
いいな。魔法使い。
Not everyone can become a witch, but there are witches that are born. So you can also become a witch.
魔法使いに生まれた人は
I'm assuming we get to know how this works. Training. Do you need to get some kind of blessing to become a witch? What does it mean to be born a witch? Is it because your parents are witches, or is it random? Are witches seen as good or bad?
シーツよシーツ。空飛ぶマントになれ。待って、ダメ、そういう飛ぶじゃないの。
From the trailer, right.
羽場所だ。
I mean, so far it looks really good. Looks really good. This always is, this is pretty hard to do. So we have a 2D carriage, 3D house, and I don't know if the frame rate is always a little bit off, but it still looks really, really good. This is how whereas like 3D objects are just so much easier to work with. I don't know exactly what they did here, but it feels like 3D object. Probably some mix. I don't know. I'm not an animator.
羽場所だ。
But yeah, shots like these, so hard to do in 2D to make them flow seamlessly. They took a lot of work. I mean, look at the house. You have all these different shingles. They're all different sizes, differently layered, and this would be a pain to do in 2D, and then to make this not seem wrong. I mean, essentially, what we are doing, or what we are seeing now with 3D and CG being used, is the same what we do, or what we have done forever in this case. You have animated parts, her, the cloth that is hanging, but you have also static drawn background, the house, the railing, the stairs, and you just animate what needs to be animated. It doesn't need all to be the same, drawn the same way. But they perfected this so much that it is really hard to differentiate the parts that are drawn differently. You probably, if you are old enough, seen old, not only animation, but also like Disney and stuff, where you have like a bookshelf and you have a bunch of books, and one of them is differently colored. It's not as detailed because that one is going to move. But with time, it is made in a way that it is not obvious at all. And that it just comes down with proficiency. And CG and 3D stuff is going to be integrated the same. It takes just time.
お母さん、外に羽場所が来てるよ。お母さん。
So she has a mom, okay. What did you... Why did you drop the book off? Also from the trailer. I mean, here you see, as last time I'm going to mention it, on the right side you have like a static drawn thing. On the left you have the doors that moved, and they are nearly identical. It is really hard to see if you didn't see before that they moved.
Oh.
It just flows seamlessly.
ごめんなさい、気づかなくて。
大丈夫。僕こそごめんね。ドアの前にいて。
あら、ちょっと信じられない。ほらこれ、こんなところにあるなんて。あら、でも。
Also, not only is he here, there's also some other person here, some woman.
置き去りそうな刺繍。
Oh, bunch of women. Okay. Okay, so I assume these are maybe nobles, maybe some people that are a little bit more better off. And it seems like they hired him, or he is guarding them, accompanying them, and he probably is the one that. She did say this is a Pegasus carriage, so I guess they can fly alone. But we know he has magic, right? From the trailer. So maybe it's just hey as a guard.
なんて古くない？それより見て、これハリアン編みのレース。あらすごい。城下って古くない？それより見て、これハリアン編みのレース。あらすごい。城
Just
下
wanted to see a little bit more. It is really beautiful to look at.
町じゃあっという間に品切れだったのに。お客様、羽馬車に乗ってきたんだ。
いや、僕は違うよ。
Oh, I thought he would be. Damn, sun is out. Supposedly today is a rainy day, but I don't know. Sun does not agree. Seemingly.
ねえ仕立て屋さん、こういうレース他にもある？はい、ただいま。
So this is the mom, I guess.
ココ、いるなら手伝
Yeah,
って。
Coco. How does she have such differently colored hair?
そちらの方、ご注文は？そちらの方、ご注文は？
煙色の布が欲しいんですが、忙しいなら後で。
So yeah, he's not with them, which is interesting. So I guess he did not came with the Pegasus carriage.
欲しいんですが、忙しいなら後でも。
私採寸できます。
君が？
ココはうまいのよ。ココはうまいのよ。
へえ。
I mean, for me, it is always hard to differentiate really good animation with good animation from good animation. If it's not necessarily bad, it's hard for me to distinguish. However, you can see the effort always in situations like these. She has a box. She could just walk off with a box. I mean, we're cutting off anyway. We're cutting away. This animation is not necessary. But they cared enough. They wanted to animate this. This is how you can see someone doing more, and this adds to the whole quality.
ないのよ。
へえ。
And you see this in many of these little scenes when the three women were looking at the fabric, everyone was moving, he was moving, he looked at her as her name got called.
ねえ、終わったら羽馬車見に行ってもいい？なんだって？羽馬車が来てるの。羽馬車？お客様のもので遊ぶ気じゃないでしょうね。大丈夫、見るだけ。
I mean, you know your daughter the best, right? I have the feeling she is going to go into the carriage.
もう魔法使いになりたいなんて言わないから。
And she knows her well. She's like very stern, testing her. Are you sure? And then she's probably going to relax and be like, okay, if you are done, you can, and if you are allowed, you can take a look.
仕事が早く終わったらね。
Classic mom.
お待たせしました。寸法はいかほどに。
あ、ここに。
お預かりします。
Again, they didn't need to, but they are going above and beyond with the little detail. Again, you see the fabric, how it is being caught by the little, I assume, coal piece and being dragged along. I do wonder what exactly decides how much effort they put in. Is it really just money and time, and it's like, we want the best of the best, and they're like, oh, someone had to animate this, and someone was probably like, I don't know if planning or after, hey, we should add this little bit, because this is essentially, we are just drawing a line, but by adding this little piece and detailing the coal a little bit more, bam, looks a lot better now. But the same with the coal line, you see how it is a little bit porous and not a straight black line, because that is not how coal behaves normally. And it adds a lot to the detail. I do wonder, is it really just the money and time that decides that? Or is it you have a team and you're like, hey, we want to animate this property, which had Atelier in this case. What do you say? And everyone is like, yeah, we really want to do this. We want to give it our all. We want to really put our everything we have into this one project because we love the show, or we love the source material. I do wonder, because some shows, they have a lot of effort put into it, some seemingly not, for unknown reason. Übel would love this part. Now this is interesting because in Freerun, season 1, I believe, yeah, Übel described her sister cutting, because she was also a seamstress, I believe, and she did explain it in a similar way, which I did not know at the time, that you have these shears and you see her cut, and then you just see her more or less pushing through, not really cutting anymore. It's more not snipping, but it's more a cutting motion. And that is what Übel described in season 1 Freerun. I like that we now have some corroboration, because you never know what is real, what is not real, what is being shown and explained, but this is the same as Übel was describing. Did you have some? Oh, no. Like a little tuffle or whatever down there? Okay. I thought he had something in his hand.
へえ、すごい集中力だ。手際もいい。迷いのない線。集中力だ。手際もいい。迷いのない線。そして裁断。何より正確で丁寧な仕上がり。この村にこんな素敵な職人がいたとはね。これこそ魔法だ。
いいえ、私のは全然違いますです。魔法っていうのはもっと不思議でキラキラで価値があってすごく綺麗で、それでもっとこう尊いんです。何を言ってるんでしょう、私は。
I do wonder why she's so in love with magic. Is it just because it's so beautiful? She has that spring and she sees how that works every time, or whatever the little lake is. Is that why she's so enamored by magic, or is there maybe some past?
本当に魔法が好きなんだね。
Maybe it's also the story. She did have a book she was reading. Maybe there's some story about witch, and it's more or less her dream. Similar to like maybe a guy reading a book about knights, and he wants to be a knight in shining armor. Maybe this is a similar idea.
どうしてか聞いてもいい？
You find out, okay?
小さい頃お城のお祭りに連れて
I do like this style of portraying a book. These little playbooks.
行ってもらった時
Are those the two same characters?
仮面を
I
つけ
guess
た
so.
魔法使いと出会って
Very dark. For a moment I thought she was in prison.
そこのあなたそこのあなた魔法の絵本を買いませんか？
魔法絵本は好きだけど魔法って何？
魔法は世界を彩る奇跡。大空をかける羽馬車に澄んだ水を保
Everlasting Spring.
つクオンの泉、そしてあなたの足元の踏むと光る灯火の石畳もすべて魔法なのですよ。
綺麗ね魔法すごいねここ魔法好き
今なら杖のおまけ付き。
I mean, sure, you conned her into buying the book. How much? What did you... Wait. What did you need to pay? Because my immediate assumption was, hey, you don't have any money, right? How much money can the Switch even get from selling it to you? But what if it's not money that you needed to pay?
それでそんなもの買わされたの？焼きいちごが食べたいって言ってたのに。
Roasted strawberries.
蝶々を追いかけたらとんがり帽子の人がいてね
それはさっきも聞いたわよ。
だからね魔法の絵本なのおまけの杖
さあここそろそろ帰りましょう。遅くなったわ。
お母さん
ん？
ここね大きくなったら世界を彩る魔法使いになる
無理よ。
なんで
ここ魔法の力を持って生まれた人じゃないと 魔法使いにはなれないのよ。普通の人間に
A little bit sad to destroy her dream. Come on, let her at least dream a couple years before you destroy what she wishes for.
は魔法使いの素質はないんだから。さあここ帰りましょう。
でも見てここが踏むと道が光るよ
じゃあお家に帰るまで光り続けていたらここにも魔法が使えるかもね。
See, why? I know you're the mom and seemingly there's no dad. Maybe dad is away. And you can just let her dream a bit. She's this small. Let her dream until 3 more years. I don't know, maybe until age 10, then you can be real. Then you can be like, if at this point you don't have any magic power, you can't. But don't destroy her dream as a child. Come on.
それ以来なんとなく見るのが好きっていうか諦めきれないっていうか
その時のことをもう少し詳しく。
Also, we have seen I believe in the trailer, people with the pointy head, I mean pointy head, sure, but with the eye mask.
何？
ここ？
I guess someone pushed over the carriage? What happened?
何してんだよもう。うるせえ。
I guess someone who has magic.
大丈夫？ココ、何があったの？何もしてないのに壊れたんだ。え？違うよ。タナルが下に潜ったんだ。チクんなよ。そこに頭ぶつけたらひっくり返って。
That is not what should happen, right? Also, I do like that the mom is pulling up her
ひ
breast.
っくり返って。まあ、なんてことなの？うちの羽馬車がこんな。
Interesting. The girl in the middle doesn't need to pull it up?
がこんな。お父様に借りたのに。
申し訳ありません。村の子供たちがとんだ失礼を。
How did this even happen?
謝られてもね。馬車がなければ帰れないわ。
なんと申し上げたらよいか。
僕が直しましょうか。見たところそんなにひどい破損でもないし。
ちょっと、あなた何なの？
失礼、トレードマークを忘れましたね。魔法使いのキーフリーと申します。
とんがり帽子。直せるの？
え
助かります、魔法使いさん。
え、大丈夫ですよ。馬車の底板に魔法をかけ直すだけですから。
ぜひお願いしたいわ。
So there was a spell on the floorboard? I guess it's a spell to make it lighter. This is why, as he was crashing his head into it, it more or less floated.
任せてください。ただ屋外ではちょっと
うちの店の作業場を使ってください。
ここ。
いいでしょう、お母さん。だって本物の魔法使いだよ。もしかしたら見れちゃうかもしれない。魔法をかけるその瞬間が。
I really like this part with the picture book. I do wonder what else is written in the picture book she bought. And I really wonder, what did she pay? Did she pay money? Did she pay something else? This is like oh, pay me with your soul or with your future kind of deal. You know? And also, what was their plan selling those? If they, I guess, whatever the payment was. But if you're a witch, I don't believe you need to worry about money, right? I feel like that is going to come back in a big way.
魔法をかけてる間、誰も
But what if she wants to watch?
中を覗かないように外を見張っててほしいんだ。
I mean, I feel like that is the whole point why she was like, hey, do it in our workshop so I can watch.
何があっても決して入れてはいけないよ。いいね。
人生そう甘くないよね。でもなんで見ちゃいけないんだろう。魔法は
Oh, we do find out what is in the book.
世の中にたくさんあるのに。
See? Let her dream, let her have fun. Don't crush it.
そのかけ方は私たちにはわからない。魔法使いだけが知っている。秘密。
To be honest, I feel like the mom should slap them. I mean, don't hit kids, but they need to be punished. They're the reason the carriage got destroyed. They are going to try to sabotage, not willingly, but essentially the reparation. They're not only going to make trouble. And you can only make so much trouble for other people. If you make trouble for the people in the village, we can solve that internally. But these people, they're from outside. That is not a good idea to make trouble for them.
うわ滑るあちょっと何してるの見つかったあいつなら平気平気ここから覗けるかな待って大きな声出すなよ泣いて
I do wonder why no one was allowed to see that. Maybe secret, maybe something else, maybe it can hurt you for some reason. But the other witch he bought the book from, that one was just doing magic, so...
なんだよつまんねえのほんとほんと
By the way, you are not doing your job anymore. You know, keeping everyone outside. Maybe he's not even using magic. Maybe he's just repairing the carriage like a normal person.
やっぱりダメいやどうしても見たいでもダメ
I mean, you can't have someone who loves magic tell them you are going to use magic, but they are not allowed to watch. You can't do that. They are going to watch. At least a little bit of a glimpse. Hmm.
書いてる
So...
魔法ペンでじゃああれは杖じゃない
I was wondering if this was just fake, or maybe this is a pen if you use it right.
魔法はかけるんじゃなくて
Hmm.
書くんだ
I do wonder if there's a system behind what is written. It looks like it would rotate in one direction. But we see some cloud kind of symbols on the left and right. So maybe that is what brings it to fly. And the other ones maybe are to keep it upright. I don't know. But the question is this a secret? Are people not supposed to know that you draw magic instead of having a wand? And that is why he wanted everyone to not look at it?
ここ終わったよ。
Yeah, sure.
ここ
お疲れ様です
I feel like she just went to the roof, just jumped down.
Ooh.
But you have to clean this clothes, these clothes also. So you have to go back. Now the question is the drawing magic. Do you need a special pen? Do you need special ink? Can you just do it with any pen and ink? You just need to have the right formula. There's also the question then is, could potentially anyone use magic if they knew how this works, or do you still need magic power? Also, this is very different to the thing we saw at the witch, right? Did we see some kind of
世
writing?
界を彩る奇跡。大空をかける羽馬車に澄んだ水を保つクオンの泉、そしてあなたの足元の踏むと光る灯火の
Yeah, here there's no writing involved, is there? Is it different? Different kind of magic? Or are these people, do they use a different system? Maybe that is why they have the eye mask, because they are doing it maybe in a bad way? Whatever the case, he or that witch did not draw what they used. So there seems to be a difference. Maybe it's also there's no difference and we did just not see what they drew, but it looked different.
母さん、少し安心したよ。魔法が大好きなあんたが魔法使いと一緒に行きたいなんて言い出すんじゃないかと思ってね。父さんが病気で死んでしまって、その上ここにまで出て行かれたら、母さん。
言わないよ。お母さんを一人になんてできないもん。
ありがとう。優しい子だね、ここは。
I mean, I can understand the mother that, especially because Coco is still young. Whenever she's like 14, 15, then maybe you could be like, okay, you're old enough, you can now go into the wider world. But below that, it's going to be very difficult to part ways. Some bread, some mushroom soup. Mmm.
おやすみなさい。
おやすみ。あ、ここ？なんでもない。おやすみ。
おやすみ。
I do wonder if we ever find more out about the dad. If he's in any way important. Maybe he was a witch, maybe he was not, and the illness death is more or less a lie. It may also be just, hey, the dad is gone, here's the explanation. Done.
魔法使いと一緒に行きたいなんて。
She is, I mean, it makes sense. She now has a little bit of a hint how magic is really done. So she's now going to draw a lot. It was a pen. Okay. I assumed this was more or less a not trap, but a scam. But no, it is a real pen. I do wonder, is it a magic pen then?
魔法の絵本にたくさん書いてある模様。
Oh. Ooh. I still wonder what she paid. Maybe not important. Now, I could see a reason that which gave away the books. We saw multiple books. They gave the wand slash pen away with it. Meaning that they may have been trying to spread magic more. Maybe magic is a very under the hood kind of thing where the kingdom has control over all the witches. They don't want free witches to run around. So they don't really tell people how magic is being done because everyone could then more or less do magic. They want to control magic. It could be that. And the witch that sold the book is one, maybe a group that are like, magic is fantastic. Everyone should have magic. Let it more or less free the knowledge of magic for everyone to use, which naturally could be used for evil. So we will have to see. But I could see that angle. Kingdom wants to control all the magic, and these guys wanted to free magic for everyone.
魔法の杖はただのおまけじゃなかった。ペンこそが魔法の杖だったんだ。
I mean, it is the magic wand from the beginning. It now just turns into a pen. The question now is, it seems to have ink, so I guess it has magic ink. Maybe that is part of the pen, that it always has ink. Now question is, do we need special paper or do we just need to draw on something? Because we have seen that you were able to draw on the wood and that worked as well. Maybe this is the ink cartridge and tells you how much ink is there, which would mean that there is a way to refill the ink. And it may be that the ink is the important part. That is the question. Is a pen? Do you need a magic pen? Could you just have a pen from a $1 store as example? And the ink is the one that does magic? Or do you need both? Is the ink maybe totally normal, but the pen is special, or both are special? Oh. Oh. Okay. I assumed for some reason that it would be like a modern day pen. It would flow down the middle part into the tip. But no, you dunk it in, okay?
ごめんねお母さん。どこにも行ったりしない。
Because I can do magic here. I mean, she just wants to do magic. Now, I don't know what is written in the book. She saw one of the stitches in the book, this one. Does the book explain what this does, or is it like try and error? If it explodes, tough luck.
ごめんねお母さん。どこにも行ったりしないから試させて。
Now this is where her solid movements that she got from all the cutting is coming in handy. Being able to draw the lines well. It could be that unless you draw them really close to perfection, it doesn't work. It's not as straight. Which again is a very nice touch. I don't know if you want to waste the ink on that. You don't know how important that ink is. So she has written a bunch of stuff. Okay, she's trying. The star in the middle does not look good. It doesn't. It really looks bad. I mean, but okay, she's trying. I do like. It looks like real ink. Okay. Again, the star doesn't look good. Or the T's don't look excellent. It looks like that the T shapes are more or less focusing the flow of magic, I guess, to symbol. On the wheel we had that he repaired, they were all going clockwise, I believe. And in all the little circles, they were going into the symbol. Or towards the symbol.
あれ
Yeah.
なんだダメか。そうだよね。そんなに簡単なわけないよね。
I mean, first off, you did not even draw a circle. I guess this is where the ink drops down, completes the circle, and then does it. I do like the framing that we see the sigil, how it should look. That would be insane. If you drew this and you had a little firework going off, I mean, I feel like she's not going to sleep. She's going to continue drawing. I would copy this like 2 or 3 times again, try to replicate this, and then I would, because she loves magic, I would spend the whole night drawing, the whole morning. The next moment in my consciousness would be my mom calling me.
光った魔法が使えちゃったすごい魔法だ魔法だ本物の魔法だ本物の魔法だどうしようどうしようやっぱり書くんだでも見ちゃダメだったのにバレちゃ怒られるかな
Maybe. I feel like the ink is also not going to last long with her.
でももう一回もう一枚だけ
You know, this is this civilization player, and you know, every turn-based gamer, it's like one more turn, one more turn, one more turn. 5 hours later, one more turn. The same with like roguelike players. One try. You know, I unlocked a new weapon. I just give it a try. Oh, I'm getting really far. It's never only one more time. Oh.
絵本
Oh, him. Oh, okay. Ooh. I was like, she's outside? No. Okay. So we have the T's with arrows, and in the middle is a triangle with some lines on the sides. Okay. And he was also interested in the witch that sold the picture book.
絵本か
I never even questioned. Because if my assumption is correct that the kingdom wants to control magic, that means her magic picture book, is more or less not only outlawed, most likely, but also very rare, and no one else has that. Or normally you don't have these magic books.
やっぱり気になるな
Oh, this is her again, right? Because this is the paper she uses. She ripped it out of whatever she had, which is also a very nice detail that you see that she just ripped it out. You also see this is not modern day paper. It has a lot of, not imperfection, but it looks somewhat used.
火の魔法だった。ダメダメ、燃えちゃダメ。
Now it is interesting that it more or less burns the paper.
火の魔法だった。ダメダメ、燃えちゃダメ。
I mean, you probably need to put some notes into your book.
危ない危ない。でもだんだん分かってきた気がする。
See? One more. Sure.
大きく
Bigger ones are stronger than smaller ones. I guess she's experimenting with the things, okay? Because this looks like potentially could work as a magic sigil, but it doesn't, because we know as soon as you finish it, it activates. So I'm assuming that there are no balls allowed, no round shapes. Round shape maybe it is, but balls are not. Maybe they trap the energy or whatever in a circle and it doesn't continue. So essentially an endless loop.
大きく描いたやつは小さいの
Here she experimented with other stuff, with other
より
potential.
強くて綺麗に
Interesting. This one, the left one, I feel like could work, but the T's are pointing outward. So again, it seems like it's important that they point towards the symbol. Neatly drawn ones last longer than
描
sloppy
けた
ones.
のは
Oh, double circle. Because again, all of these, if they worked, would have activated. The question is the double circle the problem here, or is it because the symbol in the middle is not one symbol? Because all the symbols we have seen were connected in the middle. So this maybe could work if you connect them all up with one another. Make, instead of having 8 symbols for axis for half moons, you would have one symbol that consists of these.
汚いのより長持ち。大きく綺麗に描くのは難しいな。あの人はそろそろ描いてたのに。
Experience.
そうだ。
Training. No. Delicious water. How about no? I mean, of all the other ones, this one seems to be like, hey, do you want to summon a dragon? And I would say yes, but no. Also, this is very complicated. Also, because the sigils got drawn in the book, meaning it is not any ink, it is not any pen. There is some special component which makes the magic circle, because otherwise these would have all activated and the book would not exist. Okay, interesting. Also, with all the stuff we have seen, this one is a little bit different. You have symbol in the middle, then you have a circle, then you have a second circle. Between those, you have T's pointing outward to symbols, but you also have T's with an arrow pointing inwards. You also have dots. They're not seemingly circles, but dots. And then you have P's on either side or whatever those are. No, these are open parts. She had the right one. The open Pac-Man thingy, whatever you call it. I guess this is what we have there as well. The T's all point towards a sigil. All the T's with an arrow point to the one in the middle. The first sigil then has other T's that point outward to lines, which have T's that also point outward. We have arrows, literal arrows on the side. We have 4 different big sigils on each cardinal direction. In the middle one, the sigils, we have like bows. They look like bows that got string. They also have big arrows towards the middle part. It is interesting. I feel like there's a big system behind here. And again, we have cardinals, we have all different sigils. And all of these are then connected with a bow to the middle, because the bow has a little arrow at the end. Interesting. Yeah, I don't believe you can draw this. Oh. Tracing. Smart. A little unbelievable. By the way, very... I mean, look at this. You only see part of it. You see it slowly disappear. Very nice. But is your paper thin enough? I don't know. But I guess it is. I feel like this is going to be a disaster. Could you not do this with something that doesn't have a literal dragon beneath it? Because I am not a connoisseur of magic. But I can imagine that if you have a big sigil and you have a dragon next to it, it's like dragon, sigil, combine, dragon probably summoned, you know. And now that she has started, she has to finish the sigil. I mean, you can't stop halfway, right? Look at how beautiful it is. Did you not finish it? It looks like she did not finish it. It looks like she... I mean, it is connected, right? But it looked like she was not completing it. Because it got completed. Ooh. Another sigil, huh? So this looks similar to the sigil we had on the wheel. We had 2 of those. We also have little triangles pointing to the middle. So this is more or less propelling you. How should she know? It had a dragon. Looked really cool, huh? I hope nothing happens to her. I was hoping she would summon a dragon.
めんなさい。私何も知らなくて。
知らなくて当然だよ。こうならないために隠されていたんだから。特別なインク、決められた魔法陣、それさえあれば誰にでも使えてしまう魔法使いたちの絶対の秘密。知られたからには君の記憶を消さなければならない。
I feel like that would be the best, right? Just erase all the memories. So she doesn't have to live with the knowledge that she hurt her mom. I hope she's okay. I hope she's just in like a perpetual sleep inside the ice and not dead. Because that would be, I don't know if how you could live with yourself knowing that because of your stupid mistake you killed your mom, you know?
やめて。記憶を消されたら誰がお母さんを助けるの。
残念だけど。
書いた魔法は覚えてないけど絵本の内容は暗唱できるの。それを忘れたらお母さんは。
絵本、そうか。もしその絵本が彼らのものであるとしたら追えなくなる。この子の記憶を消し去れば道は途絶えてしまう。どんな本だったか覚えてるんだね。どのページに書いてあったかも。
同じ本を見つければ魔法陣も書いてある。その魔法陣が分かればお母さんを助けられるの。
助けられるかもしれない。
キーフリーさん、お願い、記憶は消さないで。何でもします。私、お母さんを助けられるなら。
秘密は守れる。
もちろんです。
学ぶ意志はある。知ってしまった事実は消せない。ならば秘密を持つ側になってもらう。記憶を残しておくにはこれしかない。ココ、君はこれから魔法使いになるんだ。
Very strong first episode. Very, very strong. So it was the question because, I mean, story-wise, we know she witch had Atelier. She wants to do magic. Story-wise, it makes sense for her to then be able to do magic at some point. The question was just, how is this going to happen with her mom? Now, I was hoping she would summon a dragon, but she summoned something akin to maybe a dragon breath. Okay. And she's now going to learn how to do magic to help save her mom. Okay. I could also imagine that at the end, whenever she saves her mom, that then maybe the memories get erased. But again, very strong first episode. Animation, fantastic. The story is very interesting. There seems to be a group that it feels like they just want to distribute more magic. But as we have heard, it is a secret. You only need ink. So the pen is not relevant. The ink and the sigils, which is interesting. So anyone could potentially do magic depending on what the ink really is. Maybe the ink is very hard to get. Maybe the ink is special in some way and very hard to make. But that is the only thing you need, which is interesting. It is answering some of my questions. He also was like, if I erase your memory, I'm going to lose my connection or the only clue I have to find the people. So they are known. He has some connection with them, maybe. Or maybe he's just searching for them because they are antagonistic. They may not necessarily be evil, but they are going against what he is standing for in some way, shape, or form. So we have our antagonist established. We have our support established. Our reason why we are doing this, apart from just loving magic, which would have been already enough. It would have been nice if she did not try to trace the biggest magic thing. I also feel like she would be able to remember a lot of the sigil because the sigil seems to be comprised of different sigils working together. You have the 4 sigils outside. I mean, we can probably go back. Where it was. Here. We have the 4 sigils outside. I assume those are standalone in some way. And then we have the one in the middle. The middle one, probably easy to remember. And then the bows are very striking. So I would remember those. I would not remember the outside sigils. But if they are used in some other spells, you probably could get like 60-70% of the sigil back. But all the small details would be missing. The whole lines, where exactly are the T's situated, and those are probably very important. But yeah, very strong first episode.